Oh, it's 5:30 in the evening. I'm away on my bike ride. Take you to, I'll show you the front of our village where it connects to our main road. It's generally a ride around the place that sells coffee. My wife's friend lives there. They're getting ready to build something here. Looks like they might even be knocking the house down. Some of these houses are really nice. In fact, most of them are. There's just a few that are not. This is Soy 6. I live in Soy 7. There's the shop, the convenience store that I sometimes go to, and they're building a huge house here. I guess we'll get to see that huge house they're building in there. Let's go this way. Front of the village. It's a long way. I don't know, 3 kilometers maybe from here. Ex-military guy, ex-colonel lives there. Banana plantation. Stop here for a minute for a rest. There's a tiny little stream here. We often see monitor lizards coming across the road, as big as a meter and a half. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, I'm sure there's all kinds of wildlife in there. I used to have a big Great Dane dog in there. I don't know what happened to him, but he's not been around. Oh, banana plantation, small trees, and mangoes by the looks of it. They brought out a new law a couple of years ago. If you had land and you did nothing with it, you get taxed. So everybody started planting stuff, because then they'd have to take pictures and send it off to the government. Yeah. Now, I'll stop just up here. This house here, that house there, you see that house there, they got a swimming pool in the garden. Well, that house used to be my son's friend used to live there, so he used to spend a lot of time there. Then they sold it. I don't know, they sold it for 5 million baht, I think. And then all the work was done. They practically rebuilt the house, new roof, built a swimming pool, and up there is, in that room up there, is a full-size snooker table. And I have to admit, there were times when I thought to myself, okay, I'll just go and introduce myself to the owner and casually mention that I like to play snooker. But that's not the done thing over here, so I didn't bother. Yeah, beautiful house, huge. And you should be able to see the swimming pool maybe if we pass by. Yeah, there it is, there's the front of the house. This is a really nice restaurant. The old lady who lives in there, she cooks great food. And everybody in the village has got her line contact. And they order food and they pay online and it gets delivered. My favourite dish in there is pad thai gung. Yeah, pad thai with shrimp. Okay. So we're about halfway to the front of the village now, I guess. Here is a memorial. I guess you can see that. Yeah, a memorial. A couple of unfinished buildings. And we're heading to the front of the village. Big village, this. I think there's 550 homes in this village, and it was, when I first moved here in 2006, it was only a few years old. So it's about 30 years old, I would guess. Lots of businesses here. Oops, this guy's gonna hold up, yeah. Okay. Good job I didn't come along a little bit later, I might have got beheaded, eh? Very nice people in this village. Yeah, it's all commercial on this side. I think they make furniture in there. Yeah, they make furniture and exhibition stuff. That used to be a mattress factory. I don't know what it is now, if anything. Another business here. A couple of nice dogs. We'll get to the pond now. We got a pond. We got a pond at the front of the village. Well, not the front of the village. We'll go and have a look at the pond. It's on the top of a little bridge here. There are water pumps here, and we used to have a flooding problem in this village, so they turn them on when it gets too bad. But of course, now we have had all the drains done. All the main drains have been done, so the village doesn't flood anymore. So let's go and have a look over here. People fish here, and this is usually covered in weed, but I think that excavator over there floats, and I think it's got all the stuff out. There are a couple of people fishing over the far side. There's a Buddha monument. Yeah. Let's go and have a little look over here. I think the driver is asleep in his hammock, actually. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, somebody's asleep in the hammock, probably the driver. But yeah, it's a nice area. Okay. Back to the bike. Let's look at the other side. Again, this is usually full of weed. So I wonder how they got that floating digger over here. There's no way they could have got it under the bridge. Maybe they used the crane. Yeah. Anyway, that is the road to the front of the village. We'll go down there now. We'll go down there now. Okay, here we go. Right, now all along the left here is allotments. Again, because people don't want to pay tax on their land. So whoever owns this land divided it all up into plots and people grow their vegetables on there, which is great, you know. Should be that way. Should be that way. Land should be utilized. And the Thais know how to make they know how to make money. They know how to survive. That's a nice one. People are hard at work in there, I guess. Get near the front now. Beautiful. Beautiful. There was a lovely street dog, a young female, black dog with white feet, so I called her White Socks. And she lived at the front of this village, and she was a lovely dog. And she'd come over and tail wagging and jumping up and down, and I'd feed her when I got back from the market, give her some pork sticks or whatever. And suddenly she was not around anymore. And I thought, oh great, somebody's taken her in, you know. Then my wife finds out the other day, nah, she went out on the big road, got run over. Poor dog, eh? So, this is quite a big road we're going to now. So I'll park the bicycle up here. I will park the bicycle up here. Go have a look. Yeah, there's the front of the village. Look, with the king and the queen and the flag. Thais are very patriotic. You probably know. Now this cat knows me. Yeah. Hello. Good boy, huh? Yeah, is he a good boy? Oh yeah, he's all over me. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Right, it's rush hour. So there's 3 lanes aside, and there's a great big concrete wall in the middle. There you go. This is the traffic going to Minburi. Yeah. And this is the traffic on the other side. It's the traffic coming out of Minburi. Yeah. Do I want to go across the road or not? I could. It's a long old way. No, I won't. I didn't bring any money with me. So I won't. You can see the market over there, look, behind the 7-Eleven. And that's a market that's normally open on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. Talat Nat, they call it. Nat means appointment. And Talat is market. So it's like market by appointment. There's a 20 baht shop. They sell cheap Chinese stuff in there, but they got absolutely everything. It's a really good shop. I'm always in there buying bits. Yeah, big shop, lots of stuff. Everything from shoes to tools, toys, all kinds of stuff. Right, okay, that's it then. So that's the front of our village. If you came out of here and turned left and carried on about 5 kilometers, you would arrive at Minburi. So let's turn around now and we're going to go back. Make sure I don't get wrong. Right, off we go. Off we go. On our way back now. A bumpy road here. Bumpy road. Now all this road here, in 2011, we had a major flood. All of this road here, including the main road we've just seen, and everything you've seen from me leaving my house, was under 1 meter of water. Yeah, flooded. It was funny because we kept hearing on the TV, you know, the floods are coming to Bangkok because every year water comes down from the north. And so what normally happens is the government let out all the water in the reservoir just before the water comes down from the north, and they put a lot of it in the reservoirs. But that particular year, a few months before the rainy season, the government didn't want to do that. They wanted to save the water for the farmers, which is a great idea, of course. But I guess nobody thought about what do we do at the end of the rainy season in October when we have to release all that water. Oh, well, we'll just send it all the way down to Bangkok, which they did. And I remember one day a few of my neighbours had started building little brick walls around their front doors, and you know, getting ready for water, I guess. And I laughed. I didn't think we'd get any water. I'm watching TV one afternoon, and the Prime Minister, who was a woman, Yingluck her name was, Thaksin's sister, she came on in the middle of this program for an emergency news flash, and she said, people of Minburi and Nong Chok, prepare yourselves for 1 meter of water. Well, I live between Minburi and Nong Chok, and I heard that and I'm like, holy shit. You know, they said it was imminent. So I went out and I bought some silicone, some acrylic board, and I boarded up the front and back door. Tried to make it watertight. I had an Isuzu pickup parked out in the driveway, and then we waited. And sure enough, the water came. It didn't come from the sky, it came from the drains. It started out, you know, a little bit, and then the next day it got a bit higher, and all of a sudden we reached a point where it's up to the middle of my truck's wheels. And I couldn't jack my truck up because there was a concrete, I was almost hitting the top with the roof of the truck. So I drove it out of the village in first gear, very slowly, and I managed to get it out. You know, water halfway up to the door. I got it out, and I parked it around a friend's house. He lived in a much higher area. And all of the major flyover bridges were all full of cars, that people parked their cars there, you know. And 18 days, all of this was under a metre of water. In fact, I think I can probably show you the water line. Yeah, there it is. On the side of that on the side of this restaurant here. You see the dark and the light? That was the water line right there. Yeah. "18 days. We stayed in the house. The power was still on and we could use the toilet, so we stayed. I think there were only hiccup. There's the swimming pool. Look. Yeah, there was only 3 houses in our soy that stayed, and about 100 families in total stayed. Everybody else left, and all this was underwater. Yeah, it receded after 18 days. We couldn't use the doors. We had to get out of the house through a bedroom window. Good boy. Yeah, it was a difficult time. Every other day, the military sent around a big truck with loudspeakers, and they would give out rice, they would give out tins of sardines, canned food, tampons for women, all kinds of things they gave you. And while this was going on in Bangkok, all of the buses were free. You didn't have to pay for a bus to go anywhere. And they really did kind of look after you. There's a lot of community here, which you don't have in where I come from in the UK. But here there's a lot of community, you know. Whoops. He's a big boy. Yeah. They have community activities in this village. I think they have aerobics twice a week. They have government meetings once a month. And they get money from the government to do things in this village. They have to take photographs when they have meetings and send them to the government people to show that they are actually doing all this stuff. Yeah, that will stop here for a second, and you can see this big house that they're building. My God, it's huge. Look at that. That is a big house. I think it's going to be an office. It's a commercial thing, I think. So, yeah. So let's keep going. Yeah, it was quite amazing. It really was. There's a flooded soy. This is the center of the village. If you turn left, you'll go to one side. I live on the right-hand side. So we'll go along here. And I'll go and see my white dog, my friend, Cow. I'll go see her. I don't know that dog. This poor little boy here is autistic. We're back at the pond now. Hiccup. Hello, hiccup. Meตัวตายเหรอ? Something's died. She's digging a hole. Cow. Cow, มาแล้ว Don't know if my dog is here, my friend. She might be. Cow! มาเร็ว Yeah, she's coming now. มาเร็ว Here she comes. She's overweight. She looks like a pig. มาเร็ว Oh. Good girl. Yeah. She's a great dog. is my friend. I've known her since she was born. Maybe she's 2-3 years old. She likes to come here. They're burying an animal. It may be a cat. I don't know. Good girl, cow. Yeah, good girl. Good girl, cow. She just likes me to touch her. Good girl, cow. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. กลับบ้านแล้ว I'm going home now. I'll say goodbye to cow. Bye bye, cow. I'll bring you some pork tomorrow, okay? Yeah. สวัสดีครับพี่สวัสดีครับ Right. We're gonna go now. There. พอดีไอ้ไม่ได้เอาอาหารมาวันนี้ So here we go. Ready, Cap? I know those ladies. They're very nice. They're all very nice. Everybody's very nice here. This is the community centre where they do all kinds of stuff here. They have festivals, parties for the kids. So this is the centre of the village, the little roundabout, and they're working on that big house there. Boy, yeah, it's a big one. That's a nice house, recently built, quite a large one. Yeah, so on Children's Day they have a massive party here for all the kids in the village, and everything's free and everybody does stuff for it, you know, donates money for presents and gifts, and my wife usually cooks loads of stuff. They all work together, which is great. Now most of those people up there on that scaffold are women. The Thais get on with it. They're good at what they do. They live there. That's what happens here, you know, rather than going to and from home, they just set up shack and they live there until it's done, which is great. Yeah. So, we're outside the front of the little office. There's the little office door right there. Yeah. There's the inside. There's an old lady, I know her. She's in there on her smartphone. Yeah. So it's nice to sit here. At 6:30 in the morning, there's a lady who sells pork sticks, Moo Bahn, and sticky rice. And I usually buy 2 for the white dog round the corner and maybe some for my dogs too. 10 baht a stick. It's fine. Yeah. Probably coming home from school. Very studious, the Thais. They get their kids to study like hell so they can get a good job and a decent income. It's like what it's all about, I guess, for them. Yeah, they're passing up wet cement and he's plastering the walls. They're passing it up by buckets, about 6 of them. It's working well. Yeah, they got the scaffold up. I like this village. And all of this was 1 meter underwater. In fact, if you were sitting on the top of that roundabout, on that white plinth, you'd have just about been about where the water, no, you'd have just been above the water level. It wasn't that high, but it was high. And the motorcycle taxi guys, you know what they did? They somehow got boats with ropes. And if you called them, they'd come to your house in this boat. They'd pull this boat in. They'd walk in and they'd pick you up in the boat and then they'd tow you right out to the main road, like 3 kilometers. And they, you know, they'd only want the same money you'd give them for a bike ride. Incredible. It's a good case of the community coming together in a crisis. Thais are very much like that, you know, they really are. More scaffolding arriving. Yeah. Yeah, that they've been building that for about 6 months, I'd say now. Yep. The land was bought about a year previous, and then they put loads of small trees in there because, as I've mentioned before, if you got land and you don't use it, you pay a tax. So they had some trees growing there. They put this big corrugated sheet fencing all around the area, and then all this heavy machinery and these concrete posts arrived, and they started driving them into the ground. A few weeks of that, I think, before they had the foundations set. I mean, it's a heavy building, so yeah. And there's an aeroplane coming in there. 250 tourists who can't wait to go to wherever they want to go. And that's at about 2,200 feet now. Wheels will be coming down in about 25 seconds. And that will land at Suvarnabhumi Airport, which is not far from here. Yeah. There'll be a few Thais on there who study abroad who are going home. A few business people sitting in an aluminium tube for 8 to 12 hours to get to where they want to get to. And 150 years ago, we thought man would suffocate if he went faster than 20 miles an hour. My God. Sorry, rambling on a bit here. What's going on? People are going about their daily business, as they do. They all work. If you don't work here, you got nothing. Everybody wants. You know, one of the things that motivates Thais is that they really care about what others think. So they'll work hard to be able to buy this or buy that or show this off and show that off. It's part of their society in a way. The whiter you are here, the more privileged you are seen to be. But development, spiritual development, comes through diversity. That much I know. So maybe those with nothing are the ones who are really rich. Yeah, adversity builds character, you could say. Yeah, how are we doing with this? I'm at the shop now. Just seeing if I've got any money. Yes, I've got money. Money cap. Maybe buy some cake, eh? Let's see what we can find here for cake. Cake. Banana cake. Ah, maha cake gue. Let me Open Bay. Open Bay. Do I need anything else? Let's see. No, I don't need anything else. I don't need anything else. I'll buy them for my wife. She likes these. Yeah. Buy them for her, one of them. I don't know what that would cost. Not a great deal. Cap, our khnomนี่นะครับ
ในตลาดมีแต่เราไม่ได้มาขายเพราะในหมู่บ้านเราเยอะไง15 บาท
ครับคุณครับขอบคุณครับ I bought more stuff. Khnom for the wife. Khnom for the wife. I'll turn it off now. Okay, let's record this. อันนี้นะครับแล้วก็น้ำแข็งถุงหนึ่งนะครับ Buying a few things. $1. About. There. And per cool can. There she is, Elle. I've lived here 19 years and one day Elle wouldn't give me $3 credit. I had to go home. So that's okay. So that was a bike ride around my village. I thought you might enjoy seeing that. A little bit about my books. Consciousness Survives Physical Death and Reincarnation is Real. It's doing really good. I got some great reviews and I'm so happy that it's actually made people come to a conclusion that, you know, this life is not all there is. My travel book, A Wanderer's Words, I've sold a few copies in the last month or so. If you want to know all about the good and the bad times, check that one out. And I spent 3 months putting together the Essential Expat's Guide to Living in Thailand, and that contains everything an expat would need to know when they come here, plus a lot more. All the links to all my books are in the description. Happy weekend. And you know, I talked about the floods in 2011. Well, on an old hard drive, I've got loads of images and footage, so I think I'll make a video about the flood. And it's Triple T signing off.